Well, this is the best way to winterize your RV if you can do it. Well, I suppose it had to happen sooner or later. It's time now to winterize my RV. And I have a Nautilus P1 system, and it makes it a little bit unique on how you do the winterization. I suppose in some respects it's an easier system to use. In other respects, if you've never done it before, maybe it's a little complicated. So I downloaded the instructions. So I've already cleared all the water out of the hot water tank. I removed this little plug from here and let the water drain. And also, if you open this valve, this is the overflow valve, this will allow air to enter the top of the tank, which will also help remove water from the bottom. So this tank, before I do anything else, this tank is already taken care of. And also for this step, I would put the plug back into the water heater. I would leave this in for the rest of the procedure until you're completely done. Well, here's the freshwater drain on my coach. It's a 2-inch valve on the bottom of the RV, and when I open it up, it'll drain 40 gallons in just a couple minutes. Your freshwater tank drain may be a little bit different, or you may not even have one. But I'm going to deviate from the instructions a little bit, because I'm going to pressurize the system and then open up the drains one at a time, because what that does, I think, is it does a better job in evacuating all the water lines. So we have to put this into the power fill position, which we can see here is this combination of valves. And then in the city water connection here, this is my homemade adapter that I made, and you can buy these, but I couldn't find them when I made mine. So basically what it is a section of hose with a valve, on-off valve, and then just a set of adapters until I get to a air compressor fitting. This is my air compressor hose, and we will just plug this in here. And then what we do is I'm going to turn this on. So now we have air going into the system. I'm going to go to each faucet, turn the hot water on, and remember I've already drained the hot water tank. Turn the hot water on the faucet and let it run all the water out until I get air, and then do the same with the cold water on the faucet, and then go to each faucet. And also remember to do this external faucet. So I've got the kitchen faucet, bathroom faucet, shower head, this faucet, and do not forget the toilet. Run that. Once those are all dry, then I'm going to come down here and open up the low point drains, which don't have valves. They kind of cheapened out and just put a plug in them, but I suppose it works. And then once those are all done, when nothing comes out but air, then I know there's no more water in the system. And also the instructions do say to turn several of these valves to a 45-degree angle. And I've confirmed with the manufacturer that that actually does evacuate the water from the freshwater tank. What I'm referring to is the line that goes from the Nautilus P1 to the freshwater tank. And the next step is to put these valves in the winterize position and connect a hose to a jug of antifreeze. Now, the problem I found with this is that this will lose prime fairly easily. And when I first tried to do this, it would work for a while, then it would quit. It's really difficult to keep the liquid primed. Now, when I look at the owner's manual for the water pump, it says it should handle 6 foot of hose to self-prime. Now, I don't know if that means 6 foot of hose in distance or 6 foot of hose in head, which means, from here to here. But regardless, it's not working very well. And there's a bunch of elbows behind here, and there's also a anti-siphon valve. So I just think that it really has a tough time doing that. So I come up with a better solution. The solution I came up with is this is actually an outboard motor winterization kit that I had left over from the outboard motor days, and it's just in a short hose, so it doesn't go all the way to the ground. It just short hose into the input, and then we have to relieve the pressure because the pump is strong enough it'll actually collapse this, and then turn this valve on. And you can see now it's already primed. And in fact, if I run the sprayer, you can see where it primes, and you can hear the motor run a little bit and stop. Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a windy day, so hopefully you won't hear too much wind noise. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just like I did with this hose, is I'm going to go around to each one of the faucets, turn each one on individually, the hot water first, then the cold water, or vice versa, and run them until I get antifreeze coming out. And also I'm going to do the low point drains the same way. And after running the antifreeze through all the faucets, they again have you turn a couple of these valves at a 45-degree angle and then run the pump some more. It'll run some antifreeze into the freshwater tank. So the next step I'm going to do that is not covered in the manual is I'm going to use the sanitize function to pump some of this antifreeze into the freshwater tank. By using this diagram, I'm going to put this into sanitize mode. Now when I turn the water pump on, it should fill the freshwater tank from here. So I'm going to let it run, let it fill the tank, and then I'm going to put about a gallon in the tank. And then finally, the last thing I want to do is to treat the freshwater rinse, which is not part of the other systems. And I actually tried to blow this out with the air compressor. It just didn't seem like I got it all out. So what I'm going to do is I got this little portable pump, and I'm just going to pump some antifreeze into the freshwater rinse, and that should take care of that. There, that should be enough. And when I'm completely done with this, I put it back into winterization mode. And I also confirmed with the company that this red valve is actually the water heater bypass valve. And when it is in the horizontal position, the water heater is bypassed. What that means is that the hot and cold water lines are connected together, just like they would be if you had the traditional water heater bypass. And when you're done with the winterization process, be sure to remove the plug from the water heater so it can stay drained. And one thing I have to state is I pretty much followed the instructions, although I may not have followed them verbatim or followed them in step, because you don't want to have any freeze damage